kicking, never quitting. Focus sharp like a blade that's hitting. From white belt dreams to the master flow, Paul Coffey's got the mic, now the stories grow. Technique entails discipline and fire. Each guest brings truth to inspire. Keep kicking, step into your power. Keep kicking, moment to the hour. Every strike, every fall, every rise, it's a journey through a warrior's eyes. Old school, new school, all styles blend. From the mat to the mic, where the arts ascend. Philosophy deep, but the vibe stays tight. Martial minds meeting in the podcast light. Keep kicking, step into your power. Keep kicking, moment to the hour. Every strike, every fall, every rise, it's a journey through a warrior's eyes. Keep kicking. Keep kicking. Paul Coffey leads and the journey begins. Paul Coffey leads and the journey begins. Technique entails discipline and fire. Each guest brings truth to inspire. Keep kicking, step into your power. Keep kicking, moment to the hour. Every strike, every fall, every rise, it's a journey through a warrior's eyes. Keep kicking. Keep kicking. Paul Coffey leads and the journey begins.
Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Keep Kicking Martial Arts Podcast, where I have martial conversations with my martial arts friends. Today, I sit down with Reggie. He is a podcast host. I've been on his show. We're not going to go into his background as egregiously as we do some of the newer people. But Reggie, would you like to introduce yourself for the people and give them maybe 2 or 3 sentences about your martial arts background?
Hello, everyone. I am Reggie Darden, and as mentioned, I am the host of my own podcast called the My Empty Hands podcast. And as far as my martial arts background, I currently train in 5 different martial arts, American Kempo being probably the primary one. I also train in Hapkido, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and Capoeira. I also have some experience in Taekwondo, and I did a little boxing in the Army. So I stay busy and can't say no to training and whatever is available.
Okay, so now I didn't know that you were in the Army. Did you start martial arts before or after the Army?
I started before I joined the Army. I started in what we called Chinese Kempo. And I guess it was 93, 94, somewhere around there. After seeing The Perfect Weapon starring Jeff Speakman, I had to get involved in Kempos. I started training in. I'm originally from San Diego, California, and I started training there. And just before getting to brown belt is when I left for the Army.
Okay, awesome. So how did the Army affect your martial art practice, and how did martial arts affect your Army experience?
Well, I went in thinking when we got to our, I don't know, I guess you can call it combatives or whatever hand-to-hand stuff they teach you in the military. I thought it was hot stuff and realized that what they were teaching us was pretty not that great as far as hand-to-hand combat skills. So I thought I was hot stuff because being almost a brown belt and being able to do all my techniques and my forms and my kicking and all that stuff. I thought I was hot stuff and was pretty bored with the limited amount of training they give you in basic training. But it is what it is, and I I thought it was I guess I thought it was fine. I just maybe a little bit of that martial arts snobbery kind of crept in, and I just did what they told me and got through it. And fast forwarding to after getting out of basic training and training school, and when I got to my unit, that's when I kind of looked for other training and found a teacher that was coming on to the base, and he taught a combination of Taekwondo and Hapkido. So I started kind of continuing my training with.
That's awesome. I have what we've said on this podcast multiple times over. I think that it is one of the largest disservices to society that our armed forces and our like police officers, correction officers, etc., are not trained better. It's like these men, women have some of the hardest jobs in all of society and are not supported to given like they work 40 hours a week. 8 of those hours should be allowed to be spent in a martial arts classroom or talking to a therapist and working through the problems, whatever the case may be, but something that actually enriches that individual to make them a better officer, a better, public servant, whatever terminology that you want to use. So whenever I hear somebody say they were unimpressed with what they were given, it kind of hurts my soul a little bit,
Yeah, I'm so glad that you brought that up, because so my current my current obsession is I've been watching body cam videos almost nonstop for like the last 2 months.
Bruh.
Just hours and hours and hours of body cam footage. And one of the things that has really become apparent to me from seeing these is that law enforcement officers definitely need better training. If you're a law enforcement officer out there, so I'm going to get on my high horse or whatever. If you are a law enforcement officer and you're out there in the streets and you are not doing jujitsu, you are failing yourself, because I've seen so many videos where it's taken. I mean, little skinny 100-pound soaking wet girls. It's taking 5, 6, 7 cops to take them down, when just one two-stripe white belt in jiu-jitsu could easily take care of the situation. So law enforcement jiu-jitsu is a must. And all the other people listening, whatever styles, like, you can come find me and say, oh, well, my style is better or whatever. Maybe not, I don't know. But definitely the grappling and the controlling aspect of Brazilian jiu-jitsu, it's a needed for the police officer.
No, especially because of the idea of conflict de-escalation in a way that doesn't harm the officer or, the person being detained. Do you like jujitsu can do a handle with care, firmly but delicately de-escalating the situation. So no, I definitely agree. I will also add, if you're in law enforcement, chances are wherever you are, there's at least one gym in your area or close to your area that offers a discount for the fact that you're law enforcement. I can think of a handful of gyms here in Louisville, Kentucky that do. I'm sure that it's everywhere on the map in some capacity. If you are law enforcement and you're in a place and there's only 2 martial arts schools and none of them offer a discount, I want you to reach out to me right now and I'm going to have a talk with both those martial arts schools personally.
Oh, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
for as long as it takes. So the two primary reasons that you're on this podcast are selfish, both of them. One is because you're a Kempo practitioner, and 2 is to talk to me about Capoeira. I'm joking.
Yes. No. That was one of the. So I've been kind of going through some of your previous episodes, and the name escapes me, but there was a guest that you had that his kids trained in capoeira, among a number of things. And he said one of the things that he said was that capoeira does not get enough recognition or enough mention. And I mean, the bells and the lights went off for me for a number of reasons. I mean, one being doing capoeira. I mean, I've been doing capoeira, I guess I guess I'm coming up on 19 years now, and so I've seen a thing or two, but one just because I love capoeira, I feel it should definitely be mentioned more. The other part to that is I want to let me go back for selfish reasons. So when I started my podcast, my initial idea was to do a Kempo focus show and then do a capoeira focus show. But after getting into all the wonderful things that it takes to do a podcast, I realized that I can't. Doing two separate shows is way more work than I'm ready, willing, and able to do. Considering that I have no time doing 5 different martial arts, I have no time for all of this other stuff. But I have interviewed some of my capoeira brothers, and it is my plan to interview some more capoeira people on a more regular basis. So to get that out there. Then the other kind of part to it is that I want to kind of help dispel some of the rumors and the misinformation about capoeira. It's kind of funny because actually just last night I stumbled on someone in my feed who I don't want to uh, I don't want to be that guy, but he had a post of a particular capoeira kick that's kind of one of the signature kicks
Mm-hmm.
in capoeira, and he was doing it. I mean, for lack of a better term, he was doing it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
From what I can tell, I didn't completely stalk his profile, but from my understanding, he's a Taekwondo practitioner, and he was doing it. He was doing this kick kind of in the way a Taekwondo practitioner would do it, and
Sure.
I saw this and I was like, well, obviously he doesn't train capoeira.
Mm-hmm.
He may like it. I mean, that's great. He may have seen it or whatever, but just from the way that he's doing this kick, it's obvious that he does not train capoeira. And so I was gonna let it go, and I was just gonna just kind of move along, but I can't help myself sometimes. So I did go ahead and get on the comment because I was looking at the comments, and all these people were like, "Oh, like that'll never work," and or that's flashy, or yeah, you wouldn't do that in a fight, or whatever the case is.
Mm-hmm.
So I went ahead and went into the comments, and I was like, well, sorry, I don't want to be that guy. And I put in quotes, and be that guy, but I was like, you're not doing, I don't think I said that you're doing it wrong, but I
Mm-hmm.
was like, there's that's not the correct way to do that. And there's much more effective ways of doing that. And instead of being like many of the other keyboard warriors and just kind of leaving it at that, I went and found a video clip that has a proper tutorial by
Mm-hmm.
capoeiristas that I know actually that shows how to do the kick properly and effectively. And I was like, okay, you're not doing it correctly, but here is how it should be done,
Mm-hmm.
and put that on there, and said, okay, I think I've done what I needed to do, and then I actually went on the guy's profile and just kind of skimmed through some of the videos, and there were a few other capoeira kicks that he had on there that once again were done as a Taekwondo practitioner does them, and it's like I know I know you're excited about capoeira and you want to share with the people, and that's great, but let's get it done properly. And so
Mm-hmm.
I didn't comment on any of those, and I don't intend to. So you don't have to come after me or anything. But
Until you have,
I would
I don't know, then you gotta.
well I just I would like to see capoeira get more
Absolutely.
attention.
Absolutely. Well, and also like a couple of things. One, I have said this on this podcast before, and I think that as a martial artist, I have made this dedication and I'm encouraging others to make this dedication. If you are online and you see something that is not correct, you cannot respond with only words. You have to make a quick video of yourself or find a video on YouTube that is what you feel is correct and give it to that person or that audience, because that's the only way that the conversation goes forward. If the conversation is just like, you're doing that wrong and that's my opinion, that would never work. And that's my opinion. That it's a dead end. Like, as somebody posting the video, I can't learn from it. So I appreciate that you were like, and I found the video and I sent it over. But also, I want to make it very clear to all of my listeners, it is totally okay with being a Kempo practitioner. One of my students is a Kempo practitioner, and then they fall in love with something. And so they're trying to figure it out before finding an instructor. Like, if you see a kick online and you want to try it out, that's fine. But when you post that video online, you need to say, hey, this is not how to do this capoeira kick. This is my Kempo practitioner interpretation of this kick. This is my attempt at this kick. You have to preface it in some capacity where it's not like, this is how you do it. You know what I'm saying? Because you're leading with
Exactly.
some sort of martial arts authority. So the other thing, like, so I'm trying to get as many different styles as I can to talk to. And I've had very few people mention capoeira, and none of them talk about actually practicing capoeira. So first, how'd you get started in capoeira? What brought you to capoeira? And what did you like fall in love with to keep you in capoeira? Just those three first.
Okay. Well, I always mess this story up. So a buddy of mine, we've always been into the martial arts, and I always thought the capoeira came first, but actually the Kempo came first. So uh, we saw the perfect weapon, and we're like, well, we have to do this, and we found a school and did that. I always thought that the seeing Only the Strong, the
Okay.
main capoeira movie that as I thought that I saw that first, but apparently that movie came out like a year or two after the perfect weapon. But whatever the case is, we saw this movie, and oh my God, we got to do this. And tried to find a capoeira school and did not find one in San Diego, which is funny because later on I discovered that there was actually quite a few capoeira schools in San Diego, and very large groups, or the affiliated groups. There's different I don't know, different organizations, capoeira organizations throughout the world, and some of the bigger ones. There's at least a couple of the bigger ones in San Diego. But nevertheless, we had always kept that movie in mind, and wanted to get involved with that, and watched that movie probably multiple times every year. So fast forward, gosh, I guess 20 some odd years, I was living in the Dallas Fort Worth area, and on one of my rewatchings, I was like, oh yeah, whatever happened with that capoeira thing? I got to look into that, and started looking around for a school, and I found one about a week or two before I moved to Reno. So Reno, Nevada, to
Mm-hmm.
be more specific. So when I got to Reno, capoeira was still kind of in my mind, and in my heart, and reached out to try and find a school. I was not expecting to find anything, but the gods smiled upon me, and I found someone that was teaching. He lived in the Lake Tahoe area, but he would come up to Reno and teach classes. So I went down to his class, and I mean, it was at first sight. I was watching what they were doing, and I was like, I've got to get into that, and just jumped right in, and just been training ever since.
Awesome. How has capoeira informed the rest of your martial art?
Well, I would say one thing: the conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
With all of the martial arts that I've done and are doing, capoeira still ranks up there as far as, I mean, you use your whole body.
Sure.
And
Sure.
warm up, I always I joke, but I'm totally serious about this, is that I always joke that a warm up in capoeira is harder than any any Kempo class, any Taekwondo class
Mm,
I've ever been in. Like,
right on.
where you're drenched in sweat, your body's aching, and it's like, okay, well, all right, we're done with the warm ups. Now let's get to class. And it's like that was just the warm up. Or are you sure? I'm dead. The other part that I always get a laugh about is, I mean, the first 6 months, uh, 6 months of me training capoeira, I dreaded the fact that I lived in a townhouse with stairs because I could not move at all. There was many times I came home from class
Sleep
and
on
I
the
would just
couch.
look at my stairs to uh to get to my bedroom, and I would just go up a couple of stairs and just pass out on. I'm just like, I'm just going to sleep on the stairs. I can't move. I'd go to work and I'm walking down the hallways and I'm shuffling down the hallways and got my old man groans well before my time because it works your body. I mean, even your hair is sore. Just it was yeah. I mean, capoeira is it it's intense, and there's a lot more to it. There's a lot people see just, oh, okay, well, there's this flips and your breakdance fighting, and like, no, there's so much more to it. There's hand techniques, there's takedowns, there's headbutts, there's elbows, there's knees, there's all of these different things. There's strategy. You're not going to do a backflip in a fight. There's something that I always laugh about. So there is a movie that I don't know, I guess it came out in the '90s, called Never Back Down, and
Sounds familiar.
yeah, it had I don't even remember who it has in it. I don't know. I can't remember, but it's kind of another similar kind of rip off of kind of the Karate Kid type story where, oh, well, this guy's getting bullied at school, and instead of the bullies and the bad guys being karate school students, they're all part of like this underground teenage MMA street fighting ring, and they're doing they're having all these little underground fights and stuff like that, and the hero of the story, he takes up with a kind of a secret martial arts instructor.
Amber Heard's in this movie.
Oh, she is. Oh yeah, yeah, I guess it's been a while since I've seen it, but, yeah, it's, I mean, it's okay. It's okay movie, whatever.
I only
It's
looked it
fine.
up because it sounded familiar and I needed it jogged in my memory. But yeah, I've seen this movie.
Yeah, there was like a number of direct to video sequels and stuff like that,
Yeah, sure.
I remember that a number of years ago, there was, I guess it was like a behind the scenes clip or something, or maybe one of the extras were filming or something like that. So there's a scene in the movie where they're having this fight, and they need to show how badass the bad guy is. So they're getting ready to have this MMA match, and he's going up against this capoeira guy, and the capoeira guy is doing all these flips and stuff like that. And then before they start the fight, and then as they jump into the fight, the bully guy throws one punch and knocks the guy out, and it's like, oh, okay. Well, there was this clip passing around of, I guess, somebody, an extra or something, like filming it off their phone of this particular scene, and uh, I guess it went viral because people were thinking this was like a real thing because this person's like in the crowd and it's shaky cam and all this thing like that, and so people are thinking this is a real thing. So obviously this gets passed around in the capoeira circles, and see this video, and people are showing this video to our teacher, our mestre, and this particular mestre is by the name of Mestre Accordion. He is probably one of the biggest names in capoeira, pretty much responsible for capoeira coming to the United States. And so everybody's showing in this video, and they're like, "Oh, Mestre, like what do you think about this?" And his answer was simple and sweet. He's like, "Well, that's not capoeira, because yeah, if we're doing a fight, we're not going to be doing backflips and hand spins and head spins and stuff like that. Like, that's no." Yeah, people do those in capoeira rodas, but if we're in a street fight, no, you deserve to get knocked out if you're going to do a backflip in the middle of a street fight.
I personally love the simplicity that exists in some masters where they just have that complete, like, very to the point, blunt shutdown. No, that's not it. You know, like that's the answer.
No, that's one of the things that I love about Master Accordion. He's always laid it out straight, and he just he gives it to you simple and the way that you can understand. So to kind of another kind of little story about that. So when I was living in Reno, and I sort of inherited the group that I was a part of, and I was teaching and things like that for a long time. And when I moved away from Reno and moved back to the Dallas Fort Worth area, I was having a bit of a time because my particular organization doesn't exist here.
Hmm.
There are a number of capoeira schools in the area here, and I wanted to keep training and possibly even get back into teaching, but I didn't want to change my group affiliation. So I was just really kind of struggling. There was one school that there were I liked all the schools and the teachers here, but just there was always something that was missing from a particular school or something like that. So I didn't want to change over. And so this one day I'm at an event and hanging out with Mr. Accordion, and I just kind of went to him and was like, "Hey, I'm just really struggling with what I want to do. I mean, this school has this thing that I like, but they do this thing that I don't like, and this other school has this thing that I like, and but there's thing that I don't like, and I just don't know what I want to do. I want to stay with our organization, but I don't know what I should do." And Master just simply is like, "Capoeira is capoeira. You want to change groups, change groups. If you don't. Doesn't matter." It's like, well, this school, I kind of want to be part of this school because they do this thing, this, quote unquote traditional thing. But this school is their lineage is of this, and Master's like, we don't do that thing. Master Accordion is a student of one of the fathers of modern capoeira,
Mhm.
and he's like, we don't do that, quote unquote traditional thing. So, like, who cares? Like, just train, just go out and train. If it's with us, if it's with somebody else, it doesn't matter. Just as long as you're doing that, and like, okay, it snaps right into focus. All right, you got it, sir. I'll do that.
Well, I also appreciate that approach from him of being not there's a deficit mentality that exists in martial arts. And there are some martial arts masters that have this deficit mentality to where they're like, no, you can't go to another style or to another instructor because then I'm losing you. And he was just very much like, no, you just keep going. You got to keep training. And I appreciate that. That's the way that it should be. How is capoeira a good, I don't want to word it that way. In what ways does capoeira lend itself to self-defense, self-preservation? Talk to the people that are like, that's just dancing and it will never work. I know you've heard that before. I know you had
Oh
to.
yeah, no, that was something that came up last night, and so I look at Reddit. I'm pretty active on Reddit, and
I'm sorry.
uh, yeah, there's a lot of junk on there, and I know I'm sure I could contributed to some of that as well. But there was a post about capoeira. Oh, is it effective? Should I train it? And they have some, of course, they have the people that don't do that, and nothing against them, but if you don't train it, it's kind of hard to gently about it, and not trying to say
Absolutely.
anybody's dumb or anything like
But
that. But
doesn't that work for every martial art?
yeah,
Do you know
exactly.
what I'm saying?
It's for
Like
anything.
if I've never trained Wing Chun, I shouldn't talk about it. Or Kempo. There's a lot of people that trash talk Kempo and they're Korean Taekwondo practitioners or traditional karate practitioners. And it's like you haven't trained the thing.
Exactly. you have to put that caveat out there. That it's like, okay, I don't train this, but this is my observation. This is my opinion. This is whatever. Of course, the keyboard warriors and all these different people online are like, oh, capoeira wouldn't work, or Brazilian jiu-jitsu wouldn't work, or whatever wouldn't work because I do this, and
Mhm.
or the one I love. Oh well, jiu-jitsu wouldn't work because when I see red, then it's all like, oh my
When I
god,
see red is
that's just, oh, that it cracks me up so much. But
when I see red is martial arts nails on a chalkboard. Please continue.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. But so with capoeira, this person was asking if it was effective, and one of my response to that is capoeira is very effective. One, because it is not all flips and things like that people see in the movies and whatnot. There are these other items, lots of different techniques in a capoeira's toolbox. But the one of the big things is that capoeira is probably one of the few martial arts, modern martial arts, where you can train 100%
Mhm.
and apply that to actual fighting. And of course, this goes off my experience, but Brazilian jiu-jitsu, you can go 100% with your training partner
Mhm.
and use those same techniques without harming them,
Mhm.
and be able to train with them the next day. In capoeira, it's the same thing. When you get into a capoeira roda and you're throwing your moves, you're throwing your kicks, you're doing whatever techniques that you're doing, the only thing that's allowing you to still train with your partner the next day is that you're just not making the contact. But
Mhm.
those kicks are they're going full. If you have two competent capoeiristas and they're really going at it,
Mhm.
you those kicks are going full speed. We're just not connecting them. So
Mhm.
in contrast to something like Kempo, I love my Kempo, and we do lots of great stuff, and getting that body time, not just doing the air karate, getting that body time. I mean, we can work a technique on somebody, but you can't do a technique 100%.
Mhm.
You just flat out, and people if don't like that, they can come find me. But um you can do a technique maybe 75%, but
But you can't break a
you
wrist
can't
and an
go
arm.
100%. Yeah, you can't do grasping talon or whatever at 100%,
Mhm.
because you're gonna break somebody's arm, and they're not gonna train with you again. With capoeira, you can throw that kick 100%, and you just don't connect it.
Mhm.
And I've seen, I mean, just sorry, but my teacher, I saw my teacher's face get blown out because he took a kick right to the nose and busted his nose and knocked him out. I I've seen I've seen people get taken out
Mhm.
with these full blast kicks, and there's very few arts that you can do that in. So
Mhm.
if anything to make a case that capoeira is effective is the fact that you fight as you train. You train as you fight. The techniques, everything you're doing is the same in a real fight. So
So I also like look at it. First of all, my capoeira experience is very limited. Ran a nonprofit for years. The nonprofit is now in a different capacity, but when we were teaching as a nonprofit, I have some friends that are capoeiristas and they had a small little group. I would help them by getting them space and they would like work out before or after my class, whatever. And I would dabble. I do regret not spending more time with it while I had it available as a resource, but I would dabble. But in the dabbling, it seems to me like an art that has so much to offer other arts as well. Like the footwork and the stances and the flow of stepping would be instrumental in making somebody's judo game next level, or the rhythm that you get from the kicking and the consistency and the flow that exists within that has to help with just any other kick ever. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
no, I agree 100%.
so I think though that and I think that that's what a lot of people like neglect in martial art. Like as a martial artist who has done Shaolin Kempo for 32 years, Shaolin Kempo is not my art, and Shaolin Kempo is not the end all be all martial art. So then why do I keep going? Why do I continue to study? Why do I continue to do Kempo? Well, it's because as I do Kempo and then I do Jiu-Jitsu or I do Bushido, those arts feed back into the Kempo and round me out as a martial artist. So no, Kempo's not the answer. No, Tai Chi's not the answer. No, Capoeira is not the answer. Find yourself a base that resonates with you and then build the house on the base. But when you build the house on the base is made of concrete. We don't build the house walls of concrete. Those are wood. Those are drywall. Those are insulation. That needs to be different martial arts. That's my opinion on it only, guys. So,
No, I'm right there with you. There's no one art that has
Mhm.
everything. You know, as much as I love Kempo, it doesn't have everything. Much as I love Capoeira, it doesn't have everything. Much as I love Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it doesn't have everything. So for someone like me, I kind of need to have all of these other. I need to do all of these arts because there there's all these. I want to fill in all those pieces
Mhm.
to kind of quote a martial arts movie, Undisputed 2, or no, maybe 3. I guess 2, 3, whatever. With Scott Adkins as Boyka. He wants to be the most complete martial artist ever. And
Mhm.
sorry for the bad accent, but he's got to get all of these different martial arts pieces so that he can be the most complete fighter.
Mhm.
Me, I wouldn't really consider myself a fighter, but I feel that my martial arts journey is not complete unless I have all of these different pieces. And
Absolutely.
so there's things that I've got from my boxing training that I've employed in capoeira, in Kempo, and Aikido. There's things from Kempo that I've moved into my jiu-jitsu. They all feed each other. They all learn and grow from each other, and they all feed each other. So you have to have all of those pieces, or at least I need to have all of those different pieces to get to that point that I
Mhm. Mhm.
want to get to in my training.
I feel like I'll double down on what you just said, and I will say everybody needs all the pieces. Some people just don't realize it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
And
I
I'm
only
also like, I'm not taking a dig on somebody that only has done one art for 50 years. Phenomenal. And I imagine you are an amazing practitioner. Nothing against that. It's just I have that like hunger like you do for the something else.
Yeah, no, I actually envy those that can just be in one art.
Mhm.
But like you said, there those that can just stay in one art. They're really good at it. I mean, I've been training a lot of years, and I'm okay. I'm okay in all of them. I'm not going to try and say that I'm a great capoeirista or a great kempoist or a great jiu-jitsu guy. Two-stripe white belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and I get submitted all day long. I have my uh, I have my website onlytaps.me, and it's the logo on there is tap early, tap often, and that's how I live my. Vin Diesel may live his life a quarter mile at a time. I live my life tapping early and tapping often. So uh, and that's fine. You shouldn't be afraid to be bad at something.
Sure.
my Kempo is not great. It's better than some people, but it's a lot worse than a lot of other people, and that's fine. That's part of the growth. That's part of the training. We just you have to keep moving forward, and that's what I try and do.
That's a lovely sentiment. I have always said you can't be the best person in the dojo every single day. Otherwise, you need a different dojo. Okay, so now we're on to some other questions, and here's the tough one that I've been asking a lot of people. It starts with an omission. As a lifelong practitioner of martial arts, I recognize that I'm equal parts sadistic and masochistic, and I am probably in the minority. But how do we, as martial arts practitioners, as you've taught some, may teach again, how do we teach nonviolent individuals to speak the language of violence when it's necessary?
All right. So as I'd been listening to these episodes, your episodes, and you asked this question, and I was like, okay, well, I got to think about how I'm going to answer this, and of
Reggie
course,
cheated.
because I don't write anything. Oh well, it's not cheating because
Right.
I'm a product of the Southern California public educational system, so that means that I don't write anything down. I don't learn anything. I'm a terrible student. I had formulated a great answer to this, and of course I've totally forgot it, and I have no idea. But I would say that, well, I would. I get okay. I guess I'm kind of remembering a little piece of it. But one of the things is that you don't get involved in martial arts unless you kind of have some desire for violence.
Mm,
I mean, it's martial arts. It's combat. The whole term martial arts is about combat, violence, that sort of thing. So if you didn't have it, at least a little bit of that in you, then you wouldn't train in the first place. But
mm,
I would say that it's maybe a area of what are you trying to be violent against. I would say it doesn't necessarily mean violence against another person. Maybe
mhm.
it's a violence against boredom. Maybe it's
Yes, say
a
more.
violence against you're overweight and out of shape, and so you're training to get those things. Violence against depression, violence against loneliness. So
Absolutely.
I would say frame it in what is it? What thing are you trying to, I don't know, correct in your life, in your experience, that martial arts can fix? And yeah, maybe that's the guy across the street that's giving you a hard time, and you want to bloody their nose, or maybe it's just, hey, I'm home on a Saturday night, and I have nothing to do, so I need to go try and choke out my friends. To your friends are what better way to show how much you love someone than to try and take their life away from them. But so
Absolutely.
yeah, you go down to the academy and do what you got to do.
I appreciate that answer. That is a wonderful answer that the California public education system has helped you craft. So we like that. We'll keep that. What is one thing, if you could give to every martial arts practitioner, whether it be a technique, a concept of philosophy, a teaching, an idea, what would it be?
Wow, well, there's a simple answer, and then there's also, I'm not sure if you're going to ask this in your other things, but I'll go with the simple answer is that just train, just go out and train. There's always, especially so as we're recording here, this is right after the New Year's, and so everyone's got their New Year's resolution, and the gyms and the academies and the dojos are gonna be packed for the next week or two, until everybody
Right.
decides that, hey, punching and kicking is hard, choking people is hard, and then they'll stop. Something that one of my professors is have been saying is, let's turn that one day into day one. So,
Mm,
oh, I'm gonna train. I'm gonna start jujitsu next week. I'm gonna start. No, start today.
hmm
Oh, I'm gonna start my kempo in a month. No, Start today. Start turning that one day into day one. So just go out there and train. There's so many excuses to why we can't train. And if you want something enough, you will make time. Once again, not trying to say that I'm some kind of whatever amazing thing, but I mean, training in 5 martial arts. I have a podcast. I have a job. I have a wife and animals to take care of, and but I still find time to train. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one of the good things about jiu-jitsu, they have a 6 a.m. class, which said, I mean, even well, the fact that I'm even doing jiu-jitsu is already kind of a huge thing because back in the early UFC days, it's like I do not want to roll around on the ground with other guys, but here I am, and then now the prospect of, oh well, I'm going to get up at 6 a.m. and go roll around with some guys is is a ludicrous thing, but I that's what I need to do to get my time in. If I want to do jujitsu and I want to do Kempo and I want to do Hapkido or I want to do Muay Thai or whatever, well, I need to get my butt up and go to 6 a.m. jujitsu so then I have time to go to the evening Muay Thai class. Just get out there and train.
The time management is very important. I don't ask this of everybody, but I am curious as to your response. What is next in your martial arts journey?
Well, just continuing to train. I'm on the track for hoping to at least. I don't think I'm going to make it, but I should be fairly well. I guess I shouldn't say should be, but I'm hoping to be very close to my Hapkido black belt by the end of this year. So hoping for that. Maybe potentially the same for my Kempo black belt. I don't know. There's a lot of things going on with that, but really I just want to just keep training. I intend to do another Brazilian Jiu Jitsu competition probably in March. I did my first one back in September and I got myrtleized. So I'd like to try and get do better for the next one. So hoping to do that. But really just keep growing in my martial arts journey and continue to train, continue to meet new people through the podcast, and just keep those things growing and having fun and trying not to injure myself too much.
It's a good, and not to injure yourself too much is the trick for sure. Old question, rewording the phrasing. And that is recognizing that philosophy is an ever changing, ever growing, and ever moving thing. What is your martial arts philosophy in its current state and rendition in this moment in time?
uh, I guess just going back to kind of kind of what I said. Just go train. Just
Good.
there's no reason to not train. Physical, mental. There's so many benefits to it that there's no reason to not do it. Uh, there's people. Oh well, I have this hurt thing, or I have this hurt thing, or I'm too old, or there's no reason not to train. Just get out there and train. Leave the excuses at the door. One of my friends has a great saying for this, and it's killing me that I can't think of it at the moment. But basically, it goes on the same lines of don't make the excuses a reason not to train. You have all the reasons to go train, and there's no reasons not to.
But at the end of this month, everybody will either have a month worth of excuses or a month worth of experience from going to the class. So
Exactly.
that's what we got to do. It's either go or don't go. I try and keep these in about an hour. So what was the question that you wanted or that you thought I might ask? Interesting.
Let me see. It was
You said
something
it's
along. It was something. Well, so I've been a guest on a couple of other shows at this point. Even though I don't do any preparation for my show,
mm-hmm.
and I guess I wouldn't call it preparation for other people's shows, but I do try and listen to to at least a couple of episodes before anyone that I'm on. But there was one that you asked something along the lines of something every martial artist should have in their training, or something like that. The wording of it.
Let's what is the one thing that the average martial arts practitioner neglects in their practice?
Well,
This
of
is
course,
very interesting for me because of how many different arts that you train. Do you know what I'm
got you.
saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
'cause most of the people that I asked that of, they've done Kempo for 30 years. Maybe Kempo and Tai Chi. And you find a lot of people, like, there are styles that kind of go together, like Muay Thai and BJJ, or if somebody has done Kung Fu, they've probably done Tai Chi or Qigong. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are just things that you can, like, kind of surmise, but you're kind of all over the place. Do you know, like,
yeah,
Kempo, if I'm, yeah, I talked to this guy who does Kempo and Capoeira, and it's like, what? you know and so, like,
yeah.
that's
It's
an interesting perspective because you're seeing a larger barometer of students than the average practitioner. So yeah.
got you. Yeah. So because I can't just have one answer to any particular question, I have two. I think I had more, but there are two that come to mind. The first one is falling.
Okay.
There is, and this is not just because I do jujitsu. I think this is important for all of the arts. Learning
Hmm.
how to fall properly is crucial. I saw a capoeira roda where someone got laid out, they got taken down, and it wasn't really like a hard takedown or anything like that, but the poor girl fell wrong, bashed her head across concrete, and I mean she was donezo. I mean, I don't believe she died or anything like that, but it's very, I mean, that's it just takes a simple little, not even from that high a height, but
Hmm.
just learning how to fall correctly is huge. And in schools, that one, from just all the different schools and stuff that I've seen, falling is either not taught
Hmm.
enough,
Hmm.
or taught way too late. Your first, they, oh well, you got to be a brown belt to learn how to do, like, no, you can fall when you're the trial class person. You can fall on your way to the class, to your
Hmm.
first class. Learning how to fall is crucial, regardless of what art you're doing. I think that needs to be pushed more
Hmm.
early, more often. Just like tapping early, tapping often. Learning how to fall is crucial, and I think more schools, more teachers should put more of a focus on that. The
I'm gonna
second,
interject. I'm gonna interject
yeah,
real
go ahead.
quick. There was I don't remember who. I think it was Mike Casto. When I interviewed him, he made a very interesting point, and that's that uh it was either Mike or it was Conrad. Shout out to both of you guys. I love you guys. Eh, Somebody made the point of, as somebody, the average person coming into a martial arts class, they may never get in a fight, but the likelihood of them getting old and having a fall is like, that's one thing that most people have in common is the older we get, we age, we don't age gracefully, and most old people fall. And a fall is what takes out the average old person because of hip breaking. But
Exactly.
knowing that technique of how to fall and how to preserve yourself when you fall it adds a lot of value to your life. Please continue.
For sure, for sure, for sure. The second part of it is how did I want to word this? Having, having purpose in your training. So
Mm.
I would say that this is probably more. I guess I'm looking at it more in the perspective from a Kempo practitioner, in that we do our techniques and we just kind of go through the motions. We, okay, got my delayed sword, and I do my block, and I do my kick, and I do my chop, and okay, I'm doing it in the air, and I have my motions, and I do that, and I'm working with my partner, and I'm just kind of going through the motions. And this is a Kempo is a, or I should say, at least American Kempo is very, self defense is the primary
Yes.
function of
Yes.
that. And if we're just roboting our way and sleepwalking our way through these techniques, they're not going to serve us when we really need. Should the situation occur that we actually have to use those,
Mm-hmm.
if we're not training realistically and training with the purpose,
Mm-hmm.
we're doing ourselves a disservice. So
Mm-hmm.
also with the purpose, kind of understanding what you're here to do. So I will apply this also to Kempo, or excuse me, Capoeira, in that I had a student one day. We were doing our warm ups, and it's like, okay, well, we're gonna do like our stretches and whatnot. And this nice young lady was like, oh, I don't stretch around other people. And I had this thought, like, you do realize that capoeira is primarily a group activity.
Right, right.
You're going to be around other people. I think you signed up for the wrong thing if you if you don't want to be around other people. Maybe this isn't for you. So understanding what it is that why you're in any particular art, in any particular school, and training for that.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have the average student needs to understand that their purpose.
Mm.
If it's just so that you can punch off your cards, so that punch off your little ticket there, so that you get your next belt. You've gone to X amount of classes, so that you get to your next belt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, if that's your purpose, okay, do that. But if you're training because you want to be able to defend yourself, or you want to get into better shape, then you need to train that way, and not
Mm.
just go through the motions and check off the boxes. Yeah, getting a black belt is great. I've been doing martial arts a long time, and I still, as of this recording, I still technically don't have a black belt, and that's fine. And some people will be like, "Oh, well, you shouldn't teach, or you shouldn't do this, or you shouldn't talk anything about that." And it's like, there's different factors for why that hasn't happened yet, but I
You have
still
enough time
attempt
on
to
task.
train with the purpose that I want for the Kempo side of it. I want the self defense side of it for the capoeira, the camaraderie, the conditioning, the all the other different elements to it. That's what I want for the jiu-jitsu. I want the grappling techniques. I want the conditioning, and I want some of the competing side to it now that I've been exposed to
Mhm.
that. So understanding what your purpose for training, and actually doing the work to obtain that goal, instead of just getting into that cycle of, okay, well, class is on Tuesday and I show up and I'm there, and then I go home, and
Mhm.
and train at home too. Just don't do the stuff while you're in the schools.
Mhm.
But that's my little high horse moment, I guess.
No, I love that, and it speaks eloquently and perfectly to what I've been saying. Is us as martial artists, the only thing that we have is perspective and intent. So I set my intent for what I'm training for the day, and that can be I have an injury and I've got to rehab this shoulder that hurts, or that can be I'm depressed and I just need to move. That can be I've got to work on solving this problem. It can be any number of things, but we set the intent, and then our perspectives, as we voice the perspective, as we exercise the perspective, it should show and reflect the intent. That's great, man. That's wonderful. It's been a blast. Is there anything that you would like to say that you didn't get to say? And tell the folks how they can find you. I will make sure to put a link to the podcast for those that would like to check Reggie's podcast out. That will be in the show notes. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Once again, I am Reggie Darden. I am the host of the My Empty Hands podcast, and you can find that on all of your favorite podcasting platforms, or if you want to just view directly at my website, myemptyhands.net, or also talkingkempo.com. Either one of those will get you to the right place. And then as far as just on the socials, you can just find me, Reggie Darden. I'm on all the stuff except for tip. TikTok. I still have stayed away from TikTok. I guess I need to do that if I want to grow my things. But Instagram, Facebook, feel free to message me or add me as a friend if you want, and you can say terrible things about me if you want, and we can have that discussion. Or if you want to say nice things, that's fine. And then I will also do the shameless self promotion. So if you are in the Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth area, and you want to try and train with me in one or more of the various arts that I am involved in, I want to give a shout out to Henzo Gracie DFW. We are just, I mean, I'm sorry, maybe I'm biased, but we really have the best jiu-jitsu school in the area. Just the best crew. Just a helpful tip for those that may be looking for a jiu-jitsu school, Brazilian jiu-jitsu school. Signs that it is a good school. One, they have a good kids program, a good and large kids program. They have a good and large women's program. And if they're clean, if you go into the bathrooms and they're clean, you go on the mats and they're
That was
clean,
important.
that is a good jiu-jitsu school.
The important.
Or I should say, well, my professors clean the mats and the gym after every class, at least 3 times a day, plus have people come in at night and clean them. I'm sorry, there's a lot of jiu-jitsu schools, you know who you are, that don't do that. And their bathrooms and everything are jacked up and petri dish of all kinds of things, and we don't have that. So yeah, if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you want some jiu-jitsu, some Muay Thai, or some Kempo, come on down to Henzo Gracie DFW.
Love it. Make sure we'll put the link for the school as well in the show notes. Reggie, I want to thank you for your time. I thank all my guests for their time. But more importantly, now that we've had this conversation, we had a conversation on your podcast. You're now part of my martial arts journey, whether you like it or not. And I thank you for that. I want to thank everybody that watched or listened. And as always, hope you got something out of it, but keep kicking.